and welcome to day 6 of the second annual 12 Days of Sinmas. And my gift to you for the 6th day of Sinmas is a book, because reading is what? Fundamental. Today, we'll be talking about BookTok. Ironically enough, a certain subsection of BookTok needs to learn to read the damn room and read the laws, too. Normally, I love niche drama. I love learning the lore and the controversies behind niche communities that I have absolutely no stake in. I live for that. But to call today's story drama would be a massive disservice and, quite frankly, distasteful. In the words of Swoop, it's not drama, it's dangerous. This BookTok controversy came to my attention thanks to a video by a creator named World, so I will link her channel down below, so make sure you go subscribe, send her some love, get her into the Sinmas spirit. She's great. After watching World's video, I'm surprised that more people aren't talking about the situation, and since I have so many thoughts on it, I thought might as well make a video too. So if you're not chronically online like the rest of us, you're probably thinking, what is BookTok? Essentially, BookTok is a community on TikTok that talks about books. Pretty self-explanatory. It's definitely one of the larger niches on TikTok. The BookTok hashtag alone has over 200 billion views. It's so popular that Barnes & Noble, the second largest book retailer in the United States, has a BookTok section in all their stores. And I'm no stranger when it comes to online book communities. I watched BookTube religiously when I was a teenager, and I still watch Jessie the Reader to this day. If you know, you know. Normally, something like BookTok would be up my alley. Thing is, I've never been able to fully immerse myself in BookTok. I'm probably just on the wrong side of it, but from what I've seen, there is a huge emphasis on romance, and more specifically, smut, and also Colleen Hoover, but that is a can of worms I refuse to open today. If you're unfamiliar, smut is a story that contains a lot of sexually explicit scenes. BookTok did not invent smut by any means. Erotic literature has been around since humans learned how to write. The earliest smut can be traced back to ancient Greek times. And I understand why smut is so popular on BookTok, because the majority of BookTok is women, smut is typically marketed to women, and women make up 84% of romance readers. Personally, I rarely reach for romance books, much less spicy books, as BookTok likes to call it. I promise that's not me trying to sound like a pick-me. However, I don't look down on anyone who enjoys smut. Unless you're reading something heinous like mine, I think it's really shitty to judge what books people like. So if you love your smut, you do you. Literally or figuratively. Every now and then, different types of smut will go viral on BookTok. For example, the Ice Planet Barbarian series was all the rage for a while. That is a science fiction romance involving humans and an alien species. So, yep. I always see A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas mentioned in these circles. Hockey romances were huge, and I mean huge, over the summer. We'll revisit that one later. But it seems like the thing lately is guys with motorcycles, because I guess it reminds certain BookTok users of their book boyfriends from dark romance series they enjoy. Now, dark romance is a subcategory of the romance genre that focuses on darker themes, like BDSM, abduction, stalking, consensual non-consent, and role-playing. Dark romance's popularity has skyrocketed on BookTok over the past year or so. Because of this, there's been a huge crossover between BikerTok and BookTok. Basically, women from BookTok will flood the comments section of any male TikToker with a motorcycle and publicly thirst over him like they've been wandering the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. Sir, you have BookTok in a chokehold, as well as on our knees. BookTok assemble. Looking like me and my BookTok girls have a crush, lol. Why you always comment on my For You page, but not on me. Goodness gracious, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? This is a Christian channel. I would clutch my pearls if I had any on right now. Putting the sin in Sinmas, I'll tell you that for free. A lot of the men on BikerTok play into it though. Typically, the guys will keep their helmets on to add to the mystery, and they'll show themselves reading whatever dark romance book is popular at the time, and the ladies of BookTok go absolutely feral. They'll also recommend more dark romance to these bikers. Some bikers have even gone as far to say that BookTok belongs to them, thus feeding into this fantasy. Safe to say, BookTok has redefined what it means to be horny on main. However, just because some bikers are embracing BookTok's unwavering attention, that doesn't mean all bike talkers are. Most bikers are men minding their business who just so happen to have motorcycles, not looking to participate in this biker book talk trend whatsoever. And some of them aren't even men yet, but apparently that doesn't matter to BookTok. This is where Jesse comes in. He's a TikToker that talks about riding his motorcycle. Jesse is also 16 years old. This is a crucial part to the story. He wears a helmet in all his videos, so I don't have to blur his face, but since he's still a minor, I'm gonna refrain from showing him as much as possible. On Halloween, Jesse posted a TikTok joking about how he probably gets so many girls because of his motorcycle, only to show that his demographic is 83% male. And an overwhelming amount of the top comments say something along the lines of, "Just wait till BookTok finds you." Sorry? Jesse replied to one of the comments with the caption, "What is BookTok?" and a video of himself holding up various books he owns. In 2 follow-up videos, he then realized what it means to summon BookTok to your page. This elicited some interesting responses, as in, the FBI would also be interested in hearing them as well. A good portion of the comments were super infantilizing towards Jesse because apparently his taste in books is so innocent compared to what usually goes viral on TikTok. Even though a lot of people on TikTok also read young adult, too precious for BookTok. He's not corrupted yet. Let's keep it like that. Guys, please, we have to keep his innocence. How adorable are you? Definitely the golden retriever biker. Definitely gotta keep you protected. Ew. He's just a baby, guys. Cool. Meanwhile, the books in question were The Hunger Games and The Maze Runner, which are definitely age-appropriate books, considering the fact that Jesse is 16 years old. A lot of users were also leaving book recommendations for Jesse, including various dark romance novels like Haunting Adeline. Do you want to know what Haunting Adeline is about? It's a story following a woman who gets stalked and abducted by the leader of an underground organization aiming to end human trafficking. Still trying to figure that one out, but I'll do you one better. Here are the trigger warnings for Haunting Adeline. Trigger warning: stalking, murder, off page, sexual assault, on page, in detail, child trafficking, child abduction. Do they really think that it's okay to recommend such a dark book to a 16-year-old? A minor? AKA Colleen Ballinger's favorite chord? That was good, you gotta admit. I'm 25, and I'd feel uncomfortable recommending something like Haunting Adeline to another adult, much less a teenager. In general, I don't like the idea of recommending dark romance or spicy novels to anyone unprompted unless they're specifically looking to pick something like that up. And of course, there were plenty of outright predatory comments even after Jesse's age became common knowledge. Just add a little spice. Gross. We'll keep you safe, darling. Too late now. BookTok has entered the chat. BookTok will treat you right. Hey guys, what the f***? Why are you like this? I feel like I'm reading leaked DMs from a Colleen Ballinger group chat. And yes, she will continue catching strays on my channel. The comments under other BikerTok videos were already super objectifying, and those were adult men. So the fact that Jesse's a minor and BookTok can't even attempt to maintain some level of decorum is truly disturbing. I tried giving these people the benefit of the doubt because maybe, just maybe, they were ignorant to the fact that Jesse's underage, and perhaps some of them were. I don't know if Jesse's always had his age in his bio, or if he only added it after his TikToks blew up. However, if you scroll down just a bit, there are TikToks where Jessie is talking about going to school. Here's my rule of thumb. If someone uses school and class interchangeably, they're probably in college. But if someone only uses school, then they're probably in high school or younger. Let me know if I'm totally off though. I could just be talking out of my ass here. That's just been my observation. Even so, you should always err on the side of caution if you're gonna publicly flirt with an internet stranger. If they don't have their age in their bio and they could pass for a teenager, don't flirt with them. Just to be safe. Your intentions might be to catch feelings, but you'll just wind up catching a case. Double checking someone's age is the bare minimum. If there was a class called Horny on Main 101, that would be the very first lesson. That would be the prologue of the course textbook. So the fact that some of these BookTok users couldn't even do the bare minimum deeply concerns me. Thankfully, most of the creepy commenters were drowned out by the numerous people who realized how gross and inappropriate they were acting. Alexa, play the Law & Order SVU theme song for this comment section. Y'all are weird as talking to a kid like this. Imagine if this was your kid and adults left the same comments y'all are leaving. Absolutely shameful. Yeah, considering that most of the creeps are grown women, do you think they'd be okay if someone was talking to their kid like this? Or like their younger sibling, niece, nephew, little cousin, neighbor, whoever? Honestly, that shouldn't matter. You should just know that behaving like this towards minors is not okay. Jessie eventually confirmed his age in a TikTok for those who couldn't be bothered to swipe and look, and he said, quote, "I'm 16. I honestly don't see what the problem is. If nobody says anything mad weird, then we're good. So far, it's been just jokes, and I think it's been pretty clear." Which led to many users saying things like, "You're my son now," and "protective sister mode activated," which I also found a little strange. But regarding Jessie's response, I don't think it matters that he's okay with it as long as everyone's joking, and I truly don't mean that in a rude or patronizing way. That doesn't change how creepy and predatory these women were acting. Feel free to disagree, but at least hear me out. Jessie is still a minor. He doesn't understand where the line is and when it's been crossed. But the predatory women commenting do, because they're adults. Ultimately, in these types of situations, it's the adult's responsibility to make sure that line is never crossed. This kind of reminds me of that time when Tana Mojo dressed up as Ho-Ho Siwa for Halloween, and when people got upset with her, she was like, "Oh, JoJo's okay with it, so it's fine." Meanwhile, JoJo Siwa was a mere 15 years old at the time. I could do a whole deep dive on JoJo Siwa and the weird adults around her all her life, but I'll save that for 2024. Even some of BookTok's interactions with grown men on BikerTok make me uncomfortable. Like the swarming of random guys' pages and immediately objectifying them. It's weird. As I said earlier, it's fine if you like spicy books, but what I'm not fine with is projecting those fantasies onto real people without their consent. Like, at what point does this turn into harassment? Now, I hate to bring gender into this, but I know this point is inevitably gonna come up. If the roles were reversed and grown men on BookTok were leaving vaguely sexual comments on a 16-year-old girl's page, I think the outcry would be a lot bigger. But we shouldn't have to reverse the roles to realize how f***ed up this is. And this is not the first time BookTok has gone too far. Remember when I said hockey romances were huge this past summer? Well, the Seattle Kraken player Alex Wenberg became the face of hockey romance for a while, and the women of BookTok fawned over him. The Krakens played into the hype and even invited popular BookToker Kiera Lewis to one of their games. She got the Krakens' attention in a now-deleted video from saying things like, "Baby, I might not got 5 holes, but I got 3, she says in the clip with a photo of Wenberg in the background. "And since you're so good at assisting, why don't you assist your teammates in scoring in all 3 of my holes? Hello." She's been equally effusive about other athletes, but the Kraken paid for her tickets to the playoffs and gave her a jersey with BookTok on the back. She showed up at the game with a sign reading, "BookTok sent me, #crackmyback." Creators and fans like Lewis seem to be sending the Kraken's account a lot of new engagement. Lewis, for example, currently has more than 1 million followers. It got so bad that Alex's wife Felicia had to go on her Instagram story and beg fans to stop sexually harassing her husband. So, like, This is an ongoing issue with BookTok, and this is something I've also seen with stan culture in general. I saw this all the time when I was in the One Direction fandom back in the day. There's a reason why Harry and Louis stopped interacting publicly, and it's not because their management was tearing them apart and not letting them date or whatever the bullshit the Larry say. But when is enough enough? When is this side of BookTok gonna realize that they're violating several boundaries with their behavior? Again, it's okay to have your fantasies. That's your business. You can read and talk about all the erotica you want on your pages. Just don't project those feelings onto real people who want nothing to do with it. And let me just say, this vocal minority does not represent all of BookTok. There are plenty of nice, normal people on BookTok who just want to share their passion for books. However, we need to continue calling this predatory bullshit out because this tiny subsection of BookTok is gonna ruin it for everyone else. It's like in elementary school when the whole class would get in trouble because of one or two kids' poor behavior. With that being said, if you have any BookTokers you like who do not prey on minors or sexually harass married men, drop their names below. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about the whole situation, so please leave any and all your thoughts in the comments. And in general, if there's anything in particular you'd like me to talk about going forward, I have a Google form linked in the description where you could submit your video ideas. But thank you so much for watching day 6 of the second annual 12 Days of Sinmas. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 7. Bye!